Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos and I'm desperately in need of a little bit of a mini reset. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, we have moved and I'm not even sure which order these videos are in anymore because things kind of got jumbled up. But I know I attempted to do a like unpacking the kitchen with me, and then I just couldn't get everything to fit, and it's a mess, as I'm sure that footage is. And then we ended up having to take everything out of the cabinets. We'd get like one step ahead and then something would happen. All my kiddos ended up getting a cold shortly after we moved. I don't know if you can hear, there's still coughs and stuff. Thankfully, it was just a cold. I really could use some kind of rhythm in our life because it has been chaotic and I am not doing well with that at all. So I'm calling it a mini reset because there's no way I'm going to get the whole house and our life into a new rhythm in one day or in one video. What I'm going to do though is start by making this bed behind me. I'm going to get dressed for the day, and then we're going to get a little bit of a to-do list, I think. Let's start there. Let's finish the coffee, switch over to water. I probably didn't do myself any favors by having extra caffeine today. This is actually like my second cup. I should have limited myself to one, but it's already here. It's warm. We're gonna finish it, and then we're gonna make the bed. So halfway through making the bed, there was a bump from kids walking around with not looking, and this is kind of how it's been going. It's been we set out to do one thing, and there's not a distraction, but something else happens or unravels, and then we get directed that way, and then it just keeps going off into all these little bunny trails. Before anybody, I know my bedding is not Pinterest pretty, but it works for us and it's okay. So bed is made. I'm gonna get dressed now. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep pushing, because if we don't push through, we're just gonna keep in this cycle. So okay, I don't think I'm gonna do makeup today, but I am gonna go ahead and put some oil on just to kind of refresh for the day. Okay, so is it like the most stylish? No. We're just gonna do a half mom updo, I think. And I'm just gonna curl my eyelashes too. And really the only reason I'm not putting makeup on is because I don't wanna wash it off at night. Gonna put some chapstick on, and that's it. Let's make a list, a brain dump, and then from our brain dump, we're gonna pull a couple of things that we can't get done. I have my planner here next to me, and I did start some sort of a brain dump, but I'm gonna just use a separate sheet of paper. Sometimes that just works better for my brain. I couldn't even find the spiral notebook that I usually do it in, so it's just a regular scratch piece of paper. I'm gonna start jotting down all the things first, just to get them off my mind. So I want to update the inventories. We started doing that. And what I mean by that is the deep freezer we have, I did a quick inventory of that, but I need to do the inside freezer, and then I need to put those into one location. I'm gonna make myself a note here, whiteboard. I'm just gonna start listing out all these things. Organize the kids' closet. Organizing the kitchen and the pantry, those are big projects that are not gonna get tackled today. Today is gonna be some minor ones, but I just wanna get it off my mind and onto the paper, so my mind doesn't feel like it still has to hold on to these things. In the move, we lost my daughter's math book. I don't know how that happened, but we lost it. So we've been printing out worksheets and kind of going through extra things. So we have to find the math book. My son also cannot find the rest of his geography. So let's mark that down. Okay, so I kind of have somewhat of a brain dump going on here, but there are things on this side of the page that I'm going to mark that I need rhythms for, or routines. So we need to get back into our school day. So to get back into our school day, I need to have lessons prepped. That means finding some of these things, or at least having worksheets. I need to mark down for, especially for my younger ones, the expectations I have for the day for them, or their routine. So I started doing that for my youngest. I did print out a few pictures so that he can get back on a rhythm, and just show him this is how our day more or less should go. This is what I expect from you, because right now it's really chaotic. We're waking up and expecting TV to turn on. We are getting frustrated because the morning chores aren't being done, so beds aren't being made, things like that. Because my kitchen is in a little bit of a disarray, chores like putting away the dishes, they can't do that because they don't know where the dishes go. So it's getting frustrating because things are piling up on top of each other, and it just feels like I can't get ahead of the curve. So that's what I'm trying to do today. That's just with this mini reset, is find something tangible that I can get ahead on and just keep building on that. So I've made my brain dump, or I've started my brain dump. I'm going to leave this out right here for the day, so as things pop up, I can add it to the list. And something about that action of taking it and putting it down on paper kind of relieves my mind of not feeling like it has to carry these mental loads or these mental lists. I have it on paper so I can free my mind up to do something else. I have my youngest sitting at the table with me, and he is working on a couple of worksheets right now. I do want to go through a lesson because, of course, we're starting a new concept in math with him. I just laugh because I'm like, oh man, this is something that's going to sit. And instead of viewing it as something that's going to take time out from my day, I'm changing my mind perspective on it and saying that for these moments when I sit and introduce this new concept to him, I don't have to worry about doing anything else because I just need to sit and be there with him. I think oftentimes I can get overwhelmed by the work that needs to be done and feel like it is a distraction rather than a perk, or the gift that it really is, the gift that I have the blessing to sit and be the one to introduce this concept to him. So trying to wrap my mind, rewire my brainwaves to remind myself that this is a gift and a blessing, that I get to be the one to sit with him and introduce this concept. So while he is working on his other paperwork, I'm going to clear off the kitchen table because management needed to come and work on the cabinets, and so they emptied the cabinets to do that, and then everything just kind of sat out because we rolled into dinner time and didn't get it put away yesterday. So I think clearing off the table will be a big help, and it'll be part of a little reset too. So I think that will be helpful to have a smidge less visual clutter. So let's clear off the table and see if we can find a home for some of these things. Okay, I was able to wipe off the table, and my little man is ready for the next subject where I have to sit down and introduce the new concept to him. I did also pull out I had a loaf of bread in the freezer, thankfully, so I pulled that out to start defrosting because I'm already starting to think about lunch and dinner so that part of the day will go a little bit smoother. For lunch, we're going to do something simple like peanut butter and jelly, and then for dinner, I have some frozen meatballs. So I think that takes like 5 minutes in the Instant Pot. I think we'll do that tonight, and I'll make maybe some really simple quinoa rice or something like that to go with it, since it doesn't take long and there's not too much prep ahead that I need to do for that. So that will take something off my mind as well too, making sure that we have meals at least for today. And then I think after I'm done with little man's instructions and then get my daughter set up, I am going to meal plan for a week or two at least. Okay, the next thing I think that will be helpful in kind of resetting our day is to get the dishes put away best that I can, because as you know, it's kind of an array, but get the dishes put away and get the dishes in the sink washed. I have some dishes that were left over from dinner last night, and our sink is relatively smaller here, and so any kind of dishes in the sink make it seem like there's just a ton. So that will be helpful to get the dishes cleaned and put away. And I know we should have hopefully minimal dishes for lunchtime. So that's the next part in kind of getting our day reset and going. Okay, already having the dishes done, the sink wiped down. I know it won't last for long because we'll eat again and we'll need plates, but just getting that kitchen table wiped down. My daughter's finishing schoolwork on it, and then getting these dishes and, like I said, the sink wiped already feels so much better. So what I really like to do now is get the kiddos outside for some fresh air, and I think I will sit out there with them and get some meal planning done as well. That way we can all get a good dose of vitamin D, which will help continue lifting our spirits, and just get that good, I don't know, is it endorphins or serotonin? Whatever, good feelings happening. So I'm gonna put the water from here. I fill up while I'm waiting for our water to warm up for the sink. I fill it up and then put it in our water filter so that we're not wasting it. So that's next. I'm gonna dump that in. I'm gonna refill my water glass and then get the kiddos outside for a little bit and get meal planning. It's a couple hours later, and I was tending to my little one who is still fighting the last of his cold, and then I went ahead and did get meal planning done for the next 2.5 weeks, and I got a grocery pickup ready for tomorrow. So those are ways that I help myself kind of reset and get ahead of the curve. If I get a chance today, I'm going to clear out the fridge and kind of make it make a little bit more sense before we do the grocery pickup, but if not, I'll figure it out then. Right now, because my younger one is wanting some attention, I'm going to sit with him. He usually just wants someone next to him, so I'm going to sit with him while we cozy up and watch a movie, and I'm going to get some worksheets both for him and his sister for tomorrow. We haven't found the math workbook that we need for my daughter, and we haven't got all our homeschool stuff out yet. But rather than tackle a whole project and say, today I'm going to get all of my homeschool stuff out and organized, I know that that would be too overwhelming for me, and I just don't have the time to do that. And honestly, it has been making me feel worse that I make these big plans that I'm gonna get the whole kitchen organized, and then stuff happens, or things like that, big projects. I'm going to just prep for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and then hopefully this weekend I can get a little bit more done with an extra pair of hands having my husband home. So that's the plan, to continue on with the reset, and then I will show you kind of how I'm going to get ahead of the curve later this evening. Okay, super simple dinner. In here I have a cup of water, and then I'm just going to put in some store-bought meatballs. I put in quite a few because, one, my youngest loves meatballs, but also if we have leftovers, they can have some for lunch tomorrow. So that will also help us get ahead. Put it to sealing, and then we are going to pressure cook for, it only takes 5 minutes to cook. So while that's going, I'm going to put in a can of green beans and a can of corn. I'm going to leave the juice of the corn in here just so we don't burn the bottom of the pot here, because I'm going to put it all in and just kind of let it warm up together. I did go ahead and drain the green beans though, so that it's not too watery. I like frozen veggies a little bit more than canned, but I keep these cans on hand just for such an occasion, where in this instance I don't have any more green beans in the freezer, and I don't even think I have any more corn in the freezer. We did a different kind of veggie this last time and we used it all up. So I do like to have a can on hand just for this time, for times like this when there isn't any frozen veggies in the freezer. Okay, I'm gonna put this just a little bit off so that it can steam up and the liquid has a place to escape. And the way that I'm gonna serve this is I'm gonna put the meatballs on the plate, and my younger kids especially, but my kids like to have pretzel sticks with the meatballs. We use the pretzel sticks just like in the meatball, and it kind of works as like a serving appetizer type thing. Anyways, it's fun for them. It works as a little dipping thing. So I will serve that up with the veggies, and then I may open, I think I even have like a can of fruit somewhere. Maybe I'll open that for them as well. I was gonna make some quinoa rice, but I don't think that they'll go for that. And I'm really just trying not to fight this evening. I'll be happy if they just eat up the veggies. So that's gonna be for dinner. Right now, while that is going, I'm gonna go get a couple of things prepped for tomorrow to make my morning go a little bit easier as well. Okay, and the last thing that I've done is behind me on my chair, I laid out workout clothes to hopefully get my workout in tomorrow. I didn't get one in today, but that's okay. We're giving grace. I'm just starting to get back into some kind of rhythm and routine. So I went ahead and laid out my workout clothes because I know if I have them laid out, and more so even if I'm wearing them, then I'll make a bigger effort to go ahead and get my workout in. Other small thing that I've done is just try to make like a welcome and inviting space for me to actually get up in the morning and spend some time in the Word. I used to call it my coffee date with Jesus time, or you can call it quiet time, whatever you want to call it, right? So I put a few things out in hopes that that would invite me or make me more excited to get up and actually spend some time in the Word. I put out a water bottle because I am trying to get a little water in before my coffee, but we'll see. This has been a hard thing for me, but I did buy myself a nice glass water bottle. I found one on clearance. I've been looking for months. Anyways, you're not here for that. I went ahead and grabbed this filled with water so it's ready to go. And then I laid out a couple other things. So I've laid out, I have a couple of Bibles here. This is like my everyday carry Bible. And then I also have a life application study Bible. And I've taken that, I've had that out, and I just have both of them sitting to the side. I also have here, this is just a notebook that I purchased. I think I got it at Walmart. It's just a lined notebook, and I've been using it to journal. So I also have this out, as well as this daily prayer journal from the Christian Planner. The Christian Planner is also what I use for in my ring bound planner that I do all the time. If you've not seen some of our planner videos and you want to, I will link a playlist for you. But I use this on and off. I like that it's not dated, so there's no pressure to it. It just has a couple of little prompts and quotes, and then like I said, you can fit in any date that you want, so there's no pressure, and there's room for morning and evening. And so I have that out as well, just to kind of, like I said, invite me into the space and hopefully get me up before my kiddos and spending a little quiet time. So all this is kind of jammed in the corner here, and this is not the permanent setup of the little table area I have, but for now it works, right? So I have my Bible, my journal, my water, and then in here is my washi tape. But in this top drawer, I don't know if you can see, I've put a couple of pens and highlighters, because I know me and the colors and just getting in there and journaling with colors and things like that make me excited to do it. Colored pens, just all the office supplies, right? So I left these out as well with the washi tape, and then up on top here you can just kind of see a little bit of it. This is my Bible Study Fellowship notebook, so I have that out as well if I want to get into that first thing. Now let me be clear and say I'm not going to do all of these things in the morning. I am not setting myself up to do all of these things. They're kind of just invitations to myself to get me motivated to get up out of the bed and into the Word or into some quiet time before my kiddos wake up. I have all of these things out, and however I'm feeling in the morning, whichever way I'm feeling led, if I'm feeling led to journal, I'll do that. If I'm feeling led to do study, I will do that. And if I'm feeling led just to sit and read, then I will do that too. So don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, all these things I have to do in the morning. You don't. You don't have to do any of them. You don't. I'm not going to put that on myself or anybody else that all of these things has to be done first thing in the morning. But like I keep saying, they're just invitations to myself. So I hope that this was helpful at all. I am feeling a little bit better that I kind of went into the mindset that we're just doing a mini reset. I didn't need to do too many things. I did get the worksheets printed out for my kiddos tomorrow for school. We try to give ourselves grace with our homeschooling and just getting back on track with that and with life. However small you may think your move is, or any kind of thing that disrupts life, be it sickness or moving or just news that is jarring to you, really, I mean, there's so much. So if you need to take a step back and do some mini resets, I hope that you do. And then I hope that you find some peace in that. So thank you so much for watching. If you don't know, or if you just need to be reminded, may please be the one to tell you that you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. I really appreciate you spending your time with me here. I hope again that this was helpful in some way. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of videos you're looking for here on the channel, or that you just enjoyed it, and it really does help out our channel. Along with subscribing, if you're not subscribed and not part of our little family. Probably should have mentioned all this earlier, but I always forget. Anyways, thanks so much for hanging out with me.